Hi, I'm Nick,
And I'm Andy,
and welcome to Before, Beyond, and Everything in Between podcast.
a caffeinated meltdown. I guess the question the viewers are going to ask themselves is, why did we start this podcast? Well, from my point of view, you said to me one day, you got on the old dog and bone, and you said to me, Andy, let's start a podcast. And I said, no. And then you said, why not? And then I agreed to it. But no, it was, you forced me into it. So yeah, I mean, you know, we're not geographically, we are not in the same location. We're opposite ends of the country. And we are in business.
But you wouldn't think it.
No, you would
Not think it, because we are professionals.
For wonders of technology. So the good thing is, so how are Nick and I together? Well, what we do is we have a business together, a coffee roasting business, and we sell that throughout the UK. And we thought, do you know what? In our chats and phone calls and meetings and whatnot, we're always just chatting about random stuff and go off on a tangent. So why not put it into a podcast for you to listen to?
Yep, indeed. And I think the idea of the podcast as well was more of a soundboard should we need it. So obviously we're going to have days that are, for want of a better word, shit. And we thought, instead of just venting to ourselves, which we're technically doing through this podcast anyway, but why not record it and let it be for other people's amusement and enjoyment, for people to then turn around and go, oh, actually, yeah, no, I get that.
And that's it, yeah.
And so we'll tell stories of our day and what we go through and what we've come across and stuff like that. Or we can just talk about everyday things that are a pain in the arse to everyone.
God, it sounds absolutely shit. Where do I subscribe already? I guess on a side note, it's worth for our new listeners to work out that our coffee roasting business is not our primary business. It's a micro business that we're starting out, somewhat of a two-man band. But what we have is day jobs. And I think, you know, being friends, you know, I'll text you, you'll text me, and I'll be like, oh God, I've had the worst day ever. And you'll go, oh, talk to Uncle Nick. And they're like, hi, Dr. Nick. And basically it's kind of like our venting platform, because we have two very professional jobs where both of us have to act in a very grown-up manner. So doing something like this is a safe space to be able to speak about things.
Yes, it's like therapy, but cheaper.
I guess like we're just chatting about why we started the podcast. I want to say a little bit more about it being a space for therapy. I think it's really important that, you know, both of us, we need to offload, and I think it's completely obvious that we are both men.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't sound like too much like my wife, but I think it's important to say that we are both of the male species, and sometimes it is hard for men to speak up. And I hate the term big boys cry too, and, you know, men get sad too. And I kind of get frustrated by seeing all these hoodies and taglines and scarves with it all written on it. But, you know, ultimately I don't want to wear a hoodie that says boys get sad too. What I want to be is sad and then have somewhere to sort of speak about how I'm feeling. And so this podcast hopefully will enable that, but also bring you some joy, and also share your stories with us via the comments, send us audio notes. We're going to set up a WhatsApp group that you can join, and then send us whatever you want. This podcast hopefully will be a space where we can share some of our stories with you, and hopefully help you open up and share some of your stories with us as well. So that is where it's at, but also fun.
Oh yes, it's not all doom and gloom, people. No, we will be talking about, well, let's start on the fact that this podcast, other than being a little bit of a soundboard where we can vent our frustrations and our day-to-day gripes and everything else, we will have sort of topical episodes. So we've got quite a few on a list already lined up, which we hope that you'll enjoy listening to. There's some of them that I'm really looking forward to recording in personal aspects of it. But yeah, do not think that this podcast is just a soundboard for doom and gloom stuff. We're we're basically here to wanting to entertain you, a la Robbie Williams.
And the good thing is that Nick can talk about things that he loves, like football, which I can't fucking stand. So and it's quite good because we can talk about things like I like Star Trek and Nick likes Star Wars. But we obviously know what's going on there, don't we? Star Trek's going to win, obviously. But, and that's the good thing is that Nick and I are not one of the same people. And you often find with friends that you are one of the same person. You're like, oh, yeah, no, we agree. Oh, we think alike. Oh, we finish each other's sentences. Oh, no, not this one.
Oh, definitely not. They're...
So, I mean, we've got some good subjects to touch on, which I think will be great. And I think hopefully our plan in the future is to get some guests on here to talk with us and share some of their stories. We want to talk about everything from how we started our business to how it's going and our future goals and our plans and how you can get involved in that with us and how hopefully we can inspire you to be entrepreneurial and try something outside of the box, because we are forever seeing people saying, oh, I wish I could do that. I said to Nick one day, I was like, well, why is everybody saying, I wish I could do that? Why don't we just do that? And so we did that, and we're doing that.
Yeah. And that's it. Not to try and lengthen this podcast out or this episode out, should I say. We really want to long the podcast out. Otherwise, it's pointless doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for this episode's sake, it's when you speak to friends and they're like, oh, I'm sick of mine. I mean, I'm a prime example. I'm quite openly hold my hands up to that. Prime example of saying, oh, I hate my job. I wish I could. My friends everywhere I'm looking, people are doing better things and blah, 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 blah. I need to do this. I need to do this. And then never do it. And so you need, personally, I feel that you need like-minded people.
Yeah.
To then bounce off and say, well, yeah, that's a good idea. Here we go. Or do it. Like we've just said. And if it don't work, it doesn't work. But until you rule the day that you didn't do it, and then someone else does it and make a thing of it, and then you're like, oh, I had that idea 5 years ago.
Well, and if you want a new job, be an undertaker, because it is a dying trade. Oh, you love it. You love it.
Yeah, what I was going to add with regards to this episode of the podcast is that there is we're not sort of niching down with regards to what our podcast is about. No. We're not saying this is the only thing we'll be speaking about, so we only want people that are interested in this. This to us, like I said before, is a venting thing. No doubt everyone's got gripes throughout their daily lives and they just need a bit of escapism. Listen to us and then you'll be like, actually, yeah, no, I'm not the only person that's got this gripe.
Yeah.
And like Andy said, we'll be setting up a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group or anything, and then you can send us comments or pictures or anything, and we'll gladly shout them out on this podcast. And that's it, obviously, if you want us to. If you want to be named, fine. If you don't, they will be anonymous sources. But just come and join us for a caffeinated meltdown.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So thanks for listening in, guys. We will hopefully be putting more episodes out soon. And as Nick said, there is no niche here. It is just literally a caffeinated podcast and meltdown of complete ramblings and random shit. So enjoy. I've certainly enjoyed listening to myself, and
I enjoyed listening to you as well.
Yeah, and it's a goodbye from him, and it's a goodbye from me.
Okay, bye everyone.